Hello and good evening. I don't know if anybody's out there. Let's see if anybody comes into this room, whether anyone is present, anyone is correct. Let's be having you, as a certain Mr. Saville once said. Presently, nobody is listening. Could be the aliens, could be the gremlins, but I wanted to see if you could hear me via this microphone. And hello to Kaz Williams and Mother Duck. Now, if you could please tell me, I am lovely and clear. Well, thank you very much. And to Chantal, I hope you can hear also. And Paulie, hearing you loud and clear. Well, good evening. It has been quite a while. And Mario Garcia, the wonderful Mario, who is the most wonderful fundraiser in the local community here in Broadstairs with the rugby and a star of BBC Radio. Wonderful to have you all back. This is an impromptu test because I have somebody here who is technically able, unlike myself. So I just thought I would stop in and say hello, and you'll be able to ask me some questions about various matters. The topics that I thought about for today were Holly Valance defecting to Reform UK after her billionaire husband decided to stop supporting the Conservatives, and the topic of Ghislaine Maxwell, the unappealing Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal, the topic of the Princess of Wales, which is the topic burning on the nation's hearts constantly, currently, and I did a little tweet about that yesterday. I think I had over 2,000 responses. People are genuinely concerned. Now, no one quite knows where she may be, but we'll come to that in a moment. The next topic will be Lilly Allen, who has been criticised by Sienna Miller for saying that her children ruined her career. Now, having known Lilly Allen's ex-husband, a perfectly charming gentleman, I think Lilly Allen is like the boy that cried wolf. Ridiculous. And then the next topic will be Dan Wootton, who has come back from the dead and seems to be ranting and raving like an utter loon. He is utterly deranged. And then finally, an article I wrote about something goat cheese, the debate of the apostrophe of is it goat cheese, singular, goat apostrophe s, goats with no apostrophe, goats apostrophe after the s. So we'll talk about that and the varying people who contributed, and perhaps a little bit about Samantha Markle, who I've been in touch with in recent days after her court case with her sister, which she is now taking to appeal. So, good evening to you all. Let's read a few of your comments to start us off. Lilly Allen is common as mug. Say CCC. Well, I don't think you're wrong there. Paulie Gaultier, Lilly Allen is gross. So Lilly Allen seems to be your favourite topic. But hello and good evening to the many of you that are coming into this chat. I'm sorry I did not announce this earlier because we didn't make the plan to do this. We just wanted to do a test, and then next week we'll know that we are able to do this properly. So thank you very much for partaking. Anyway, my view first on Holly Valance. So Holly Valance did an interview with GB News. And Holly Valance, for those of you that quite rightly probably don't know who this bimbo is a woman who used to be in Neighbours, the soap opera, which I believe has been revived recently. I've known some wonderful people who've been in Neighbours, one of them being the character who played Toadfish. And I met him after he'd been in the Big Brother house with Frankie Dettori. He also happened to be a comedian. I had a wonderful dinner with him in Chelsea, an absolutely delightful character. Now, Holly Valance, on the other hand, she's a little bit thick, let's be honest. Anyway, Holly the Wally is a bit like the other Holly, are you really okay? Are you okay? Are you really, really, really okay? Are you going to ask if I'm okay? She cares a little bit too much about herself. She happened to be one of those people who could be, as I put on my Twitter today, become she has become the modern day equivalent of, you'd guessed it, Debbie McGee, the lovely Debbie McGee. So, if you all remember, Mrs. Merton on a chat show asked Debbie McGee, "What was it about what was it that first attracted you to the multi-millionaire Paul Daniels?" I would say of Holly Valance, now known as Holly Candy, what was it about the billionaire Christian Candy that you were first attracted to Holly? Holly really is a busybody. This Australian is trying to interfere in British politics. She says that, after her husband got into trouble during the lockdowns for having a party with the wannabe Mayor of London, Sean Bailey, an utter disgrace who Boris Johnson put into the House of Lords, this ridiculous man who did the mingle and jingle party during a lockdown whilst everyone else was locked up at home. Shameful. And Nick Candy was one of the people who paid for it. Mr. Candy is a controversial businessman. He has he's best known for having built a building called One Hyde Park. It's one of the most expensive apartment buildings in the UK. An apartment in there generally goes for a one-bedroom about £9 million. It's the size of a studio flat for most people. Most apartments retail at about 165 million. Mr. Candy doesn't like the fact that I helped the Daily Telegraph when they wrote an article about his wonderful building, in which they referenced how there used to be a river. Well, there is a river underneath the building in a tunnel, in a pipe, and it ran from the Serpentine. It's the River Bourne, i.e. from Westbourne Grove, the Serpentine goes down to the River Thames, and it regularly floods. So the wonderful One Hyde Park, the most fancy apartment building in the country, it floods. So all these billionaires' supercars float around. So you've got Lamborghinis floating around in water. What a wonderful place to live. I remember back in the 2010s, out of the 86, I think, apartments in there, only 3 of them were paying council tax. This building contributed nothing to the local economy, and Mr. Candy has got very, very rich. Now, I have no problem with people getting very, very rich. I have no problem with success, but I have problems with vulgarians. And Mr. Candy and his brother, Christian, he has a child called Monaco. Yeah. Children, and another one called Cayman. They're named after tax havens. Charming, wonderful people. Anyway, they funded the Conservative Party for many years, but Holly Golightly, Holly Neighbour, Let's Be Friends, or whatever you call them, has decided to give interviews to GB News after appearing at a Liz Truss, Liz the Lettuce, as I call her, press conference, and she's decided to endorse Reform UK. Obviously, her husband didn't get a title from Boris Johnson, so they've obviously got a little board, and they're going to be supporting Reform UK. She hates her former country because she thinks it's woke Australia. She doesn't want to go back there. She pays fines for not voting. Her interview was all about how she loved Nigel Farage, and it's Farage as in garage. It's not Farage. That's just an invented name. And he did try to be the MP for Broadstairs, but didn't get too far with that. Well, Thanet was the actual constituent. Anyway, I do think that the opinion of Holly Valance is as much use as a chocolate teapot. No, thank you very much. I hope the matter of her giving opinions on politics is sent to Siberia. If anyone should be deported on the Bibi Stockholm, let's put Holly Valance there. Holly Candy. Anyway, that's Holly Valance dealt with. The next matter on my agenda will be Ghislaine Maxwell. So the very unappealing Ghislaine Maxwell, a woman who hasn't paid her lawyers. And here's cheers to all of you for turning up. Thank you very much to the 70 plus of you who've come out of nowhere without us even promoting this. Thank you very much for being here. I have to say, Ghislaine's appeal is totally unappealing. She owes her lawyers £3 million minimum that I know of. She is trying to appeal on the basis that Jeffrey Epstein did a deal in 2008 in Florida, and that the deal in Florida should apply in all other parts of America. America has a law that is governed state by state. Her brother, again, GB News, he had to go on there, didn't he? He can't get a voice anywhere else, so he turned up on GB News. Grotesque GB News was the only place that would take him. And it was an interview conducted by a man called Tom Harwood. I've written of Tom Harwood many times in the past. He is known as the condom campaigner. When he wanted to campaign for Brexit and help young people, he decided to give out condoms. What have condoms got to do with Brexit? God only knows. But that is what he'll forevermore be remembered. Rather like another GB News presenter who doesn't seem to work there anymore, Darren Grimes, who is known as Crafty W Star NK. For his activities. They are a very strange bunch, these GB News people. Mario raises his tea to me. As regards Ghislaine is trying to bring in the matter of Jura. The juror who said that he was abused. And it concerns a lady called Lucia Osborne Crawley, or Lucia Osborne Crawley is her name. I haven't got notes in front of me because this is being done totally off the cuff, but Miss Osborne Crawley is a journalist, and she claims that she was abused in her past, and she did an extensive interview with juror, whatever his number was, Scotty. Anyway, Scotty, he is part of the appeal, and Lucia Osborne Crawley is being called as a witness, and she is worried that her involvement may actually change the narrative. But interesting articles out there about it in the Irish Independent, amongst other places. I will put those up later. Anyway, I have to say that Ghislaine has as much chance of success as the Titanic resurfacing. The woman is completely off the wall crackers. She is deranged. She is mental. She is completely ridiculous. She has no money to fund proper lawyers, and her brother claims she's doing kind works to help foreign people in prison by training them how to appeal, and she speaks 4 languages and she tries to help people. She is completely off the wall. I'm being asked, do I listen to Stephen Nolan? I don't know who Stephen Nolan is, so I cannot answer that. Charles Spencer had some sad news this week. Charles Spencer has brought out a book about his life and spoken about himself being abused. William Sitwell, who I happen to know, went to the same school, and he wrote an article that spoke out against that, saying, not everything was bad at this school. I think Charles Spencer is somebody who does seem to like attention, and I do think the reaction to William Sitwell's article was a little bit overhyped. His Telegraph article, I thought, was quite fair and sensible. Anyway, that's that. By the by. As Mario says, Ghislaine has too much information on Clinton, Trump, and many others. Yes, they are all the matter here. Miss Maxwell committed a crime. Miss Maxwell is a convicted sex offender, but she cannot have been what she was unless those women were trafficked to someone. Those people, like whoever they may be, need to be brought to justice. Now, Mr. Epstein is dead. Mr. John Luke Brunel is dead. There is no chance of any further justice against those two. Mr. Brunel was not convicted, but Mr. Epstein had been convicted. Associates of theirs, like Jess Staley, are financially under investigation, and there are many names circulating out there. I have the address book, which I believe not to be Epstein's, but primarily Ghislaine Maxwell's. Every single person I know who is in that address book says they never met him, they only knew her, and many of them say we hadn't seen her in years. Now, you would say that, wouldn't you? You could argue. But in many of those cases, I believe those people are telling the truth. I don't think they have any reason to be out there telling lies and porky pies. So we will see what happens next. Ghislaine is a very, very devious woman. Her father once said, I have a beautiful daughter, and she's just like me. I've always said, change the word beautiful to the word deviant. She's a bad, rotten, bad person. And whatever her brother might say on the tame GB News, where Tom Harwood, condom campaigner, didn't ask any serious questions, complete waste of space, boring interview, totally irrelevant, should be taken off air, totally pointless. I won't be changing my mind, but I will be following the case most curiously, and I will be very interested to see what happens with regards to juror number 50. I think his name was Scotty Davis, and also Lucia Osborne Crawley. So that was that matter. There we go. We're getting comments. The Truth says she was beautiful. I don't know whether that's a reference to Ghislaine, but I don't think Ghislaine was at all beautiful. I think she was just a deviant, bad person. Anyway, cheers to you all for being here, and there's more and more of you coming in. Thank you very much. The next matter we shall turn to is Lilly Allen. Now, Lilly Allen has been giving interviews saying her children have wrecked her career. How ridiculous. Plenty of people have children and have careers, and Sienna Miller, I believe, has come out and said, what a load of old rot. I'm with Sienna Miller. I have met Lilly Allen and her husband through friends. I don't know them well. Her ex-husband, that is. And he's a very decent gentleman, friend of a friend. And quite frankly, the children, I think, have had a perfectly good upbringing. It's a little bit different to the situation ongoing, also coming out today with Billy Piper and Lawrence Fox. Now, these two are going at it hammer and tong and having a real ding-dong and a row in a very public way. I think that is highly damaging to their children. I think they should put a sock in it. That's all I should have to say on that matter. And next, the matter of Dan Wootton. Now, Mr. Wootton, has decided to go it alone and formed his own little channel. He's having a go at everyone from Peter Jukes, Byline Times, Carol Vorderman. Anyone will do for him. He is furious that Sharon Osbourne drank champagne when he got fired. He was very nasty to people on the way up. So on the way down, lots of people celebrated. And if he thinks he can make a comeback, let's see what happens. He hates the mainstream media. He was quite happy to take a salary from it for a very long time. I think this man is onto rather a sticky wicket. I think he is someone who is, again, a boy who cries wolf. I think the nonsense he spouts is a load of Barry Bull. Absolute rubbish. So I'm not a fan of Dan Wootton, and I will be watching to see what happens next, but I will not be watching his nonsense. I cannot be bothered. Utterly boring. And, this is a man who was nasty about Johnny Depp, a perfectly delightful man who harmed nobody. Whereas, there was a court case with the dreaded Amber Heard, also known as Amber Turd, and a very unpleasant woman she is, from what I gather. Johnny Depp is someone who has been a great achiever in the world and seemed to me, on my only occasion of meeting him, a very decent, kind-hearted gentleman. And I do think that Dan Wootton is as the viewers are saying, he's a horrendous character, is the most polite answer I'm getting here. I'm getting many more that are probably best not repeated, but I totally agree with. No, Dan Wootton is someone we don't really need on our airwaves. I think Dan Wootton should take a long holiday and never return. That would be a good thing for the world. Whereas I think the Princess of Wales is someone we should all be celebrating. And I do think the nonsense and furore over a picture is an absolute distraction from the real things going on in the world. Now, there may be matters in that family that are complicated, and I have been speaking with people who have theories, and I don't know what's going on there. I know as much as you do. But she has declared via her advisors that she will be returning at Easter. Now, that is only a week or two away. So, frankly, leave the woman to rest in peace. Stop falling for the Meghan Markle trick. Meghan Markle's been launching a load of rubbish. Suppose she's taken a trademark out on placeholder, name placeholders of the non-metallic variety. Why on earth would anyone want to buy a Meghan Markle-made place name holder? How ridiculous. And let's think about doctored pictures. Who is it who goes wandering around forests in £300,000 of jewellery and just happens to run into the paparazzi? Meghan Markle, or the Duchess of Sussex, as she should be named, but I do believe still that title should be removed from her. And as for that drip of a husband, his own brother didn't even stay to hear his speech at the awards last night. He came in via video, but his brother had already left. Speaks volumes, doesn't it, really? Here is someone who should be left alone. The Princess of Wales. She is a mother. She's been ill. I don't know if there are other matters going on there. I've heard all the rumors and all sorts of crazy stories. They are completely, mostly off the wall lunacy. So I think that is that. And now, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer a few questions. And if you would like, we're going to have a little quiz. I have someone here to take notes on the quiz. If I can get them into action. So we will do a little quiz. But if you have some questions first, please ask me them now. Will the Duchess of Sussex range of goods not be gracing Steeple Towers? I don't think I'll be sent any as a gift, and I certainly won't be buying any. No, I don't think we want to help her make a profit. So no, thank you very much from me, but other people are very welcome to buy them. Right. I don't think we have any questions, so we will go to our quiz. Just a little quiz, and it will just be 20 questions and very quick. Right. Now, Right. Are we ready? Are you ready? Question number one. What was the title of the 1996 film? Oh, actually, no, I've done this page before. Sorry, I will find another page. Sorry, I put a cross on it. I do apologize. What is the name of the bell tower, the bell in the clock tower in the Houses of Parliament? Pipfield wins. So if we could please write down Pipfield, 1 point. 1 point to Pipfield. Big Ben is the answer. Question number two. Which C is a party game where teams have to guess what is being acted out in front of them? Pipfield wins again with charades. You are very quick, Pipfield. You're the fastest finger first. Question number three. Which young singer's first top 10 album in the UK was called Voice of an Angel? Now, here's somebody who has also been whinging on in the media, who I don't particularly like. Montacute gets a point. Montacute gets the point with Charlotte Church. She is not the voice of an angel. She's the voice of delusion. She's completely nuts. She recently bought Laura Ashley's house where she fell down the stairs and died. And she's turned it into some kind of wellness retreat in the Brecon Beacons. God help the poor people who live there. Which cartoon character's catchphrase is I tore a puddy tat? It is not Sylvester, no. No. We take NWEV for 1 point. NWEV gets 1 point for Tweety Pie. Which H glides across water or land on a bed of air? I believe these used to go out of Ramsgate or Dover. Montacute gets the point with hovercraft. Well done to Montacute. Another point for Montacute. I believe you're doing very, very well. In history, did the 100 Years' War between England and France last for 98, 100, or 116 years? The 100 Years' War. How long did it actually last? Montacute gets the point with 116. It was not 100, it was 116. It's a little bit of a con, that one. Who has presented both the Antiques Roadshow and This Is Your Life on TV? Right. We don't have anyone answering yet. It wasn't Cilla Black. No. And it was certainly not Anthea Turner or Eamon Andrews. Carla Austin gets the point. Carla Austin gets 1 point for Michael Aspel, though I think your spelling wasn't correct, but I get the sentiment. Right. What's the name of the dog in the TV show The Tweenies? Chantel Boyson says, gosh, this is difficult. Negative Time says the dog is called Zoe. Well, no, it's not called Zoe. No, it's definitely not. It's not called Jimmy, and it's not called Rex, and it's not called Columbo. No, we're not doing very well here. You don't know the program, The Tweenies. Can't say I do either. But there we go. It's not called Fido. It's not called Patch. If we don't get an answer soon, we will ditch the question. Montacute does not know the program. It's not called Belvedere and it's not called Lassie. I think on that point, we will have to say the answer is Doodles. So we're going to discount that question. No point for anyone. If you look at a snowflake under a microscope, how many sides does it always have? A snowflake. How many sides? Montecute gets the point with 6. Well done to Montecute. Right. Next question. In the year 2000, which female presenter joined Connie, Simon, and Matt on Blue Peter? In the year 2000, who joined Blue Peter, basically? Nobody seems to know the answer to this particular question either. It was not Carol Vorderman. It wasn't Yvette Fielding. It wasn't Peggy Mitchell or Dame Edna. It wasn't Anthea Turner. No, Anthea has done many things, but including Blue Peter, but that wasn't one of them on that particular occasion. It wasn't Fluella Benjamin. It wasn't Matt, whoever Matt is. It wasn't Cat Deeley. It wasn't the bird with blonde hair. No, I don't think any of you are going to get this one. It wasn't Mary O'Connor. I don't know who she even is. But it wasn't Mary. It wasn't Chegwin. I think at this point we'll have to say none of you get a point for that one either. It was not Shep. It is Liz Barker. Liz Barker joined the program in 2000. What sort of creature is Sean, the lonely hero of the cartoon film The First Snow of Winter? No, Sean was not a sheep. No, it's not sheep. Many of you are answering this, and it's not a fox. And it wasn't a dog. And hello to Harriet, who normally helps with the quiz. Well, I didn't announce the quiz, so there we go. So I didn't announce anything. This was completely spontaneous. So there we go. It was not a robin. It wasn't a horse. It wasn't a dinosaur, nor a rabbit. I don't think you seem to know the answer to this question, any amongst you. No, it was not Shaun the Sheep, which you all keep saying. No, I believe there is a Shaun the Sheep, but not on this occasion. Another answer that we will probably have to discount. The answer is a duckling. We can accept duck. So no points for anyone. You are all the weakest link. Goodbye on this particular occasion. Which national park covers the area of Cumbria containing Windermere? Now, if you can't answer this, you really are worse than the village idiot. Montecute gets it straight away with the lakes, the Lake District. I can accept the lakes. Dendrochronology means finding out the age of what by counting the rings inside it. Pipfield gets the point. A point to Pipfield with tree. Pipfield gets the point. Which long-handled cutting tool used by farmers is found by rearranging the letters of the word chesty? If you rearrange the word chesty, what do you get regarding a cutting tool? Pipfield gets the next point with scythe. Pipfield, another point for Pipfield. Please. I'm trying to keep my scorer here in order. He does not wish to be named, so we won't be naming him this evening. Which Scottish actor who used to play James Bond was knighted in 2000? Pipfield gets yet another point with Sean Connery. Very quick indeed. A point for Pipfield. Which breed of dogs chases a stuffed hare in races around a stadium? Now, many of us have been watching Cheltenham, but this is another form of racing. The answer is greyhound, and Pipfield gets yet another point. Well done to Pipfield. Question number, the penultimate question. When a computer monitor is called a VDU, what do those letters mean? Visual Display Unit. Matt Grant, a new one, gets the point. Well done to Matt Grant, who has scored a point. Thank you to Matt Grant for joining us, a new one to the group. And finally, which major river does the M25 motorway cross twice as it circles London? Pipfield gets the point with Thames. Well done to Pipfield, I think. Who is the winner, please? Right, the winner with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points is Pipfield. Thank you to Pipfield. Thank you very much for joining in, Pipfield. It's very much appreciated. And thank you for your kind participation. Thank you very much to you all for joining us this evening. And we will be back again at some point in the coming days. I may well be traveling for a few days, but I will try and do this with a remote device. But I cannot take the microphone with me. But I will be able to try and do this via other means. So thank you very much. May I wish you all a wonderful weekend and a good night and good gardening, and don't let the bed bugs bite. Take care, and thank you very, very much. Thank you and goodbye.